I'm
Really?
waiting for the day we hit 2 million followers to upgrade my sound equipment. That's for
We
the
get
folks
get the
listening.
microphone, get like the desk mic, get the
That's for
headphones on. Just
that's for the folks at home listening. Share the pod with your friends, your family, your neighbor's dog. Please put the word out there. Welcome back to the pod, everybody. It's Boomer and Junior. My name is Boomer.
and I am Junior.
Welcome back, everybody. It's the summer series, as I was calling it, or I've been trying to call it. And it's, obviously the off season. Some of us are getting tan, some of us are getting burnt, but who's not getting burnt? Basketball teams and football teams, at least not yet. And we're just doing this thing where we're catching up on, things from last season. And as a result of that, we're kind of taking a look into basketball teams for this past year in March Madness as a whole. Before we get into that, Zachy boy, what's new with you? Tell the folks what
Well,
at home what's going on with you.
before I share that, I do have one comment. You're talking about college basketball and football teams not getting burnt, except for one Brendan Sorsby, who continues to have a tumultuous fall after what we talked about in our last episode. We're not going to dive into that though. Just had to throw
Yeah,
that on there
it
real
just
quick.
just when you think like he's done, like just when you think that whole saga is over, like I thought it was dead. I thought it was done. I thought this was gonna go behind closed doors and they were gonna like he was gonna owe people a lot of money. Oh my god, dude, this is
Yeah, now there's
this
tampering allegations and stuff, and it's wild.
once that word gets thrown in there, all right, real stuff. It starts to get bad. Like it starts to
Yeah.
get bad. Um, there goes Brendan Sarsey, man. Rest in peace. I heard. I'll end on this. I heard that he was gonna like prep for the 2027 draft somewhere that like on his own, like away from teams, obviously because he can't play it. But yeah, talk about a crash and burn, man. Talk about a crash and burn.
Yeah. Complete whirlwind of events for that man over the last 3 months or whatever. But
For someone
anyways,
who's not crashing and burning, Zach, what's going on with you?
yeah, only thing crashing and burning in my life recently is watching some fireworks that are crashing and burning. Yeah, no, just hanging out. Hope everybody had a good Independence Day weekend.
Happy
It
Fourth.
was good hanging out with friends and stuff. We did a hot dog grill out, watched the
Nice.
Padres get smacked in baseball, unfortunately.
Oh yeah,
Watched the fireworks and watched some World Cup and stuff. Yeah, how about you, Nick?
yeah. God, I'm embarrassed to say my next thing for my 4th of July was not in the country. Very, very American of me. For folks listening at home, my dad has a bad tendency to always book last minute trips for the family. And it's like, he's like, this is the way or the highway. And so we decided to go to like Montreal on a whim. And so the Thursday before the holiday, so last week, we literally got on a 7:30 a.m. plane, went to Montreal. Beautiful city, very, very lovely people.
Canada
Very,
for 4th of July is crazy, Nick. Sorry, I have
I,
to interrupt you. Canada for 4th of July is crazy
hey
work.
man, hey, that makes two of us thinking the same thing. But you know what? And it's also like not even like any normal Fourth. It's the 250th, and so like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh.
it was fun. Fun little week in Toronto or Montreal and then Toronto. The food in Toronto blew my mind away. So good. But we're back. We're here. We're gonna talk about some basketball. Um, guys, we're less than I think 75 days away from. We're way less than 75 days away, I think, from football. And
It's like 50 days, I think, right now.
yeah, I think week zero is what, like late August, mid to late August,
Yeah, August 29, I think, is first
maybe before
games.
that.
I'm
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
sure.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, so we're less than, and as a salute to last year, as sort of like a like one last hurrah to the season that came before, we're looking at basketball teams from last year. And so we're doing a couple things. We're gonna do a quick winner and loser section from like the teams from last year. So we're gonna look at who won and then who was a loser. And so we're gonna do a little back and forth here, some honorable mentions, and I think Zach is gonna kick us off.
Yeah, so we'll start off from with a winner from this past season, and that was the number one winner of the season, being the Michigan Wolverines. Oh, that hurt to say. Oh, that hurt to say. But yes, Michigan breaking the 26-year Big Ten
Big
national
Ten.
championship title drought, doing it in Indy, big win over UConn, looking fairly dominant along the way, the entire tournament, the entire season, really. I mean, as much as it pains me to say, very impressive team, very well coached, just complete discipline and execution at pretty much all
Yeah.
levels. Amazing season for the Wolverines.
I think the only thing I'm gonna add on to this is it was kind of scary to watch them play. It was
Oh, yeah.
as a fan of an opposing semi-dominant Big Ten team, Purdue, like, I mean, I was terrified of them coming into West Lafayette. Like, obviously, we weren't living up to expectations this past year. Having said that, I mean, this team was just so cohesively good. I mean, Yaxel on his own, what a team, like, what a guy, right? Literally the glue of the team. Um, yeah, I mean, I hate that I'm not the biggest, like, I don't have any part in the Michigan MSU bias or rivalry. I lean a little more green, obviously having been friends with you for a few years, but having said that, um, I don't like Michigan in general. Think they're I think they have personalities is the best way I can put it.
Mhm.
Um, the fact that they've won football and basketball now in, like, the span of 3 years, I think, it's, like, a tough pill to swallow. But yeah,
Absolutely. I will give one final compliment about Michigan before going back to only
might be the last one you
despiteful
ever
or
give them.
despising things. Yeah, yeah, I mean, honestly, no reason to, do anything else, but, yeah, you talked about Yaxel Lendenborg being the glue of the team. I think that was something that was really impressive throughout the season
Yeah,
that he has the size, the talent, the experience 'cause, he's
yeah,
a 29-year-old playing in college basketball, not actually 29. But he is like a 5th, 6th year player though, right? Um,
yeah,
and, he could be dominating the game, putting up 30 plus every single matchup, like playing
yeah,
all 40 minutes, like doing whatever he wanted to do, basically. He did do a good job though of kind of I know, being willing to take the back seat at times and
for
getting
sure.
his teammates involved and allowing kind of the team success to occur, which is part of why they were so dominant throughout the season. And so as terrible of a person as he seems to be off the court by all accounts, on the court, great player apparently
Yeah, man.
and great mentality. So yeah,
What a ball player. What a ball player.
yeah. And concluding that, we're gonna move on to our first loser, which is also Michigan. Nick, do you wanna get into that?
I mean, yeah, I could, dude. The only real loss with Michigan is literally the fact that they're losing Dusty May. And what a year, right? Like, comes in, wins a natty, leaves. Selfish as, like, I've had my thoughts about Dusty May this entire year, especially him being the Michigan head coach. As a Dallas Mavericks fan, when I heard the news that he was gonna be the head coach, I was just like, I was very conflicted. I'm leaning on the side of, like, if there's anyone we coulda got, I'm very happy that it's him. I'm very happy that it's him. But obviously Michigan have a track record of winning a natty and then losing their head coach, especially after thinking they're gonna keep their head coach for a while. Uh, it's it's quite a bit. Yeah. And they also obviously lost 3 first round picks to the draft. And so we're gonna look at a very, very revamped and probably a lot weaker of a Michigan team going into the season next year.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, I think Michigan fans would all trade kinda go through this again, right? Win the national championship and then lose Dusty May, lose everybody else if that was the
Uh,
trade-off that they had to go for the Natty. So
yeah.
I don't blame them for that. Obviously, they did give me a major loss though, and that yeah, they had, Adayamara, uh, Yaxel Lendenborg, and Morez Johnson Jr. all go to the NBA draft and get selected in the first round, as they should be, all very talented prospects, going into the NBA.
It
Um,
sounds like
and
one of those, like, trip up questions you ask a friend, like, "Hey, what if, like, your college team won the natty, but you lose your head coach the season after they do it? Like, would you take that deal?" And
Mhm.
I guess you're right? Yeah.
I think you do in this scenario, yeah, and I as much as it pains me to say, I think Dusty May usually when they talk about some, like, hot shot, college head coach going to the NBA potentially, it never really feels like it's gonna work out.
Mm-mm.
There's a lot of examples of it not working
Mhm.
out. This one, of all the ones that I've heard of, passes my vibe check probably the most and seems like it
Yeah.
might actually have a chance of working, so
I
we'll
I
see if it does or not. But regardless, the Wolverines are missing him. Not too much though, as they were able to promote their assistant coach to interim, and now I believe he's full time head coach. And he's
Huh.
able to retain all of their players so far, both recruits and current players on the roster, as well as transfers they had coming in, which is very
Yeah,
impressive. So Michigan going to be looking a little different with a new man leading the charge from the coaching regime, but still going to be a pretty solid continuity squad.
yeah. Let's go back to winners. The basketball guys, as we kind of coined the term this past year on the pod. What about? By the way, what a look back, right? At one of the all-time like terms we came up with. Yeah, this
Oh,
one
Nick,
came
we
out.
didn't come up with that. We stole that.
We did.
Oh yeah.
I
Oh
can't
yeah.
take the
That was
trademark
not
then.
my.
Okay,
I'm not smart enough to do that. Are you kidding me?
never mind. I thought we came up with that. I'm not gonna lie to you. Okay,
No.
fine. Well, I mean, honestly though, like University of Nebraska, man, Cornhuskers, dude. Like, I mean, they're pretty much like a middle to like bottom tier basketball team in the Big Ten every year. You don't really take Nebraska seriously, but like, what the heck, dude? Fred Hoiberg, man, first Sweet 16 in program history, really gave the Big Ten a run for their money in the regular season. And I don't remember how they did in the Big Ten tournament, but it wasn't bad. And all I'm saying is, man, what a little I'm gonna call it mini Cinderella story because they're not like a nobody name brand, but like in the world of basketball, you don't really think Nebraska's gonna like go in and do anything.
Mhm.
Sweet 16, very impressive. Go Nebraska ball.
Yeah, this was a great season. I think Fred Hoiberg and everyone involved in the Nebraska administration and fandom would be super psyched about this season.
Yeah,
Like you said, first Sweet 16 in program history. Haven't even made the tournament that much as of the last, or I guess in program history, and they're kind of making that a more recurring thing now too. They
yeah,
seem like they have a great setup going and kind of a pipeline to establish themselves as maybe a somewhat consistent tournament team, which is really exciting for that school. I am
yeah,
curious though. It kind of balances out because Nebraska, a historically, pretty good football school, has been kind of in the trenches on football as of recent, but basketball is improving though. If you're a Nebraska fan, sound off in the comments or hit us up on email or whatever. I'm curious if Nebraska fans would be more interested in having this, higher performing basketball team with a lower performing football team or vice versa, or like how you would balance it out. So let us know what you think.
mhm. Hey man, join the Purdue bandwagon at that point. I will end on this.
Facts, yeah.
I will say this: Indiana still has better corn. I will end on that. For
They
our
do.
second loser of the season, I'm gonna go with Kentucky. Well, there's another early exit round for the Wildcats, man. Like, I think the one thought I had about Kentucky that I've had for a few years now is I seriously don't think if they're coming back. Like, I don't know if they're ever coming back. I don't think Mark Pope really knows ball, and, like, special sub loser from Kentucky is, Kirk Risa. Uh, as Kyle says, "You bum," and apparently he's caught up in a $2.2 million like, wire fraud scheme. He scammed 2 donors out of money to pay for mom's cancer treatments, which why I say that out loud, I'm praying to g like, is it true, Zach? Like, do you know anything about this? Because I don't really know much about this stuff. Is it confirmed, like,
Yeah,
fraud?
yeah, I was following this and I made a post about it when the news broke, last week.
Okay.
Um, but the details at that time seem to be indicating more of like a point shaving scheme or something like that.
Yeah.
That's not what the case is. For all the craziness of sports betting and stuff like that in the world of college sports right now, this is completely separate from that because this was just straight up wire fraud where he created fake emails as well as fake phone numbers to reach out to not one but two different donors for
Jeez,
it was
dude.
unclear which schools it was, but I know it dates back to at least his time at West Virginia to get
Oh my.
$2.2 million in funds for what he claimed to be like paying his mom's cancer treatments and like helping save like the family farm, et cetera, et cetera. None of which was
Holy,
true, but he still managed to convince people for that money, which is
holy.
so insanely unethical.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, this is not like a small amount of money. This is over
Yeah.
$2 million. Like, I
Mhm.
mean, the fact that college players of any sport are like, I mean, are the fact that they have access and they have the, like, this is, I hope he doesn't view this as a small amount of money because to any normal schmo Joe on the street, $2 million is like insane. And like the fact that he scanned 2 gunners out of this, like I am stunned, truly. What a shame, truly. Like I mean, what? You get access to a lot of things. You get a free ride to a really nice school, get your degree and get out. Don't be dumb.
Mhm.
Mm. Alright, man. That's all I had
Yeah,
to say.
yeah,
Go Kentucky.
it's
You
pretty
bums.
crazy. Yeah, Kirk Risa, you bum. That
Kentucky,
right
you
there, that
bums.
is a thing we coined, I think. The "you bum" thing, I think we've brought that into college
I like
sports and
that.
made that ours.
I like that.
Um, but yeah, no, I mean, Mark Pope is really not seeming like the guy at Kentucky right now. It's very concerning. I'd be curious to
Mhm.
hear Kentucky's fans' thoughts because maybe they have some optimism that we don't know about. But at this time, yikes, and good
Yeah.
luck to people in
It's not a good
Lexington.
look. It's not a good
Mhm.
look. Alright,
Absolutely.
man.
Yeah, we can bounce back up to the winners. And with that, it's Nick from your state, the Texas Longhorns, having a pretty solid performance in the NCAA tournament, coming out of left field there. They were in the first four, right?
Yep.
It was a pretty big deal, winning their matchup there, a pretty good game, and then making it to the Sweet 16, which was a quite exciting performance from
Yeah.
them. In that process, they did beat Gonzaga, and they won
Yeah.
a few games, obviously, to make it to that point. Pretty stoked. What were your thoughts on your home state team?
I don't have any allegiance to Texas. I've said that many times, on the pod. I don't have any allegiance. The only allegiance I have to a school in Texas is obviously the Aggies. Um, you know, one might say there's a bias there, but I have my own biases. I just don't like Texas that much. This the university. Uh, I mean, dude, I I saw this. I kind of kept an eye on them throughout the year at various different points. They weren't doing that hot. Still made it in as a first four team, and then they turned up the gas and like they kept going through. And I mean, they hit us in the Sweet 16, dude. They hit Purdue, and I remember just going out to a bar here in Dallas and watching that. Just, I mean, they gave it was good to see old players like Cam Heidi, who's now on Texas.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Um, very I'm not gonna lie, that one tugged at the heartstrings, um, because I mean, I watched Cam at Purdue, and also I watched him in person lay down the meanest dunk I've ever seen in my life in Arizona at the national championship. What he shut down an entire arena in Arizona, like it was insane. But no, I mean, they had a great year. I think they completely blew out their own expectations. Very happy they lost to us in the Sweet 16, but yeah, no, I'm very happy about that. But,
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, as always, horns down. But yeah, good for them. Good year.
Fun additional note, I don't know if you mentioned this or not, Nick, but yeah, they were the only sixth first
Yeah.
four team in tournament history to make the Sweet 16, which is cool. A notable team that did that before and went even further was UCLA back in the
Mm.
2021 tournament, who actually made the Final Four and was a Jalen Suggs half court heave away from maybe going to the national
Ugh.
championship game. So it's cool to see some of these bubble teams actually make an impact, make a little bit of a run in
Yeah.
the tournament.
Where's Jalen at these days? Do you remember? Is he in do you know where he's at?
Last I knew it was the Magic, but
I think he's still
not
there.
sure.
Okay. I think he's
Yeah.
still there. Alright. Anyway,
Yeah.
go on.
That's actually a good transition, Nick, because we're going over the state of Florida for our next loser, which was the University of Florida,
That's
who
really funny.
suffered a round of 32 upset loss to number 9 Iowa, the number
Yeah,
9 seeded
man.
Iowa Hawkeyes. I think a lot of people knew that Florida wasn't going to be quite as good without Walter Clayton Jr. there anymore.
Yeah.
But they were definitely still in the conversation for a title, right? I mean, a number one seed, right?
Yeah.
But then losing in this round to first year head coach, or first year at Iowa, at least head coach Ben
Yeah.
McCollum and the number 9 Iowa Hawkeyes. Wow, that was crazy.
Yeah, there were a couple teams that I really misjudged coming out of the Midwest. One of them being an eventual I'm gonna switch up for, like, 2 seconds. One of them being a Final Four, Fighting Illini. I'm sorry, Zach's mom, again, for that one. I really am sorry. But Iowa, man, I mean, they held their own. Was I mean, you hit on the notes, right? They had Florida started off the year really rocky. They look rough, and then they finally cut their tempo, cut their groove, ended up coming out as a number 1 seed, which is pretty awesome. But yet again, like, what a like, very disappointing to see them go out in the second round, especially after having an amazing year the year before. I remember exactly where I was, exactly which Buffalo Wild Wings I was sitting in when I saw them win the national championship in 2025. And so, uh, yeah, tough year for them. It's gonna be, but I think they've got enough momentum as a program to keep going and do successful in the next couple of years, unless they
Mhm.
absolutely royally screw it up. But yeah.
Yeah. 2 notes on that. Yeah, that region was truly being ran by Midwestern Big Ten teams, right? You had Iowa, who faced up with Nebraska in the next round, and Iowa beat Nebraska, who we talked about already, who had a great season on their own right. And then Iowa then losing to Illinois of all teams in the Elite Eight there, advancing then to the Final Four, which is crazy. So Big Ten running that region in the
Dude,
NCAA tournament this year.
yeah. Once again, Mrs. Salmon, I'm sorry.
On top of that, quick shout out call out to something we discussed recently, and that's that we're making it an annual thing, just only the 1 year so far, of our Boomer Junior Blitz and college football season of our Buffalo Wild Wings wings bet.
Oh,
We do
yeah.
need to go back and check, but we'll be ripping that here soon before the upcoming season starts.
Oh, yeah.
About who ended up winning, getting more games correct there, who owes who a 10-piece wings
A
meal, or
10-piece.
not meal, but
Yep.
just 10-piece wings. Yeah.
Alright.
So
Yeah. Fair play. Alright.
Anyways, that would in fact be the high point of an episode for us, which is similar to the High Point Panthers, I think
What's
is their
that?
mascot.
I have no idea. Ladies and gentlemen, what you just witnessed is Zach's way of words and his puns, and that I've been subject to torture for the last almost decade of my life.
I'm
Uh,
I'm kind of on a roll right now, Nick. I'm pretty happy
no,
with this.
you do that thing where you start a punt and then you drag it and you drag it and you drag out the pun. I'm like, we're talking about High Point University, folks. Number 12 seed. Pulled off like arguably one of the biggest upsets in the tournament with number 5 Wisconsin. Only winning by a point, 83 to 82, but I it was it was arguably like one of the more like people didn't see this one coming, obviously. And obviously I do you know much about High Point? Because going in, like I did it. And that's one of the beautiful
I know
things
that they're a
about March.
for-profit university that's extremely expensive and religious. It's in one of the Carolinas.
Oh.
Um, and they had a possible setup to go undefeated the entirety of this past season, but they did fail to do that. They lost one game early on, I think, their non-conference schedule.
Yeah, I mean, special mention was Chase Johnston on, I think High Point, right? Like, this was I heard about this guy through you, and, like, it's like, this guy
Mhm.
only shot 3-pointers apparently, or, like, free
Yeah.
throws, right? Like, correct me if I'm wrong. And
Yeah,
so,
yeah, I had some free throws too, I think, yeah.
yeah, and this was he like, in the entire year, like, his first ever made two-point bucket was, like, solid two-point bucket inside the perimeter was in this game. So, I mean, what an odd stat, you know? What an
Yeah,
odd stat. But
yeah,
yeah, I mean,
he's your
special
corked
mention
up white boy coming off the bench, just a knockdown three-point assassin, and all of a sudden it's, crunch time, fast break in the first
hey
round of the
man,
NCAA tournament, and he gets like I don't know if it was a dunk or a lay-in, but in a fairly contested fast break opportunity too, that obviously ended up giving his team a win then.
hey man, we had a couple of those quirked up white boys this year, which was kind of fun to watch. It was fun to watch. It was fun to watch. Shout out High Point, great job, guys. I don't remember how far they made in the tournament. I'm not gonna lie, but it's fun to see a new name.
I do
Uh,
believe they lost in the next round, but at
okay.
least a white boy got a little motion though, That's
I
what
do
we love to
recall
see that.
texting my buddy Jack who went to Wisconsin from work, and he just was, like, not doing okay. I just remember him not being okay. Let's flip over to losers, guys, and I love talking about this next team, especially on the years they lose. The University of North Carolina, baby, the Tar Heels. Oh, man, how can you forget? Truly one of the worst, like, first-round exits. They blew a 19-point lead to VCU, a number 11 seed VCU. Uh, I mean, dude, what a disappointing couple of years for the Tar Heels, eh? Like, what a couple of really disappointing years. And it's not like they've not had, like, talent. They've had good recruits come through the program, but, like, they've just not when when the lights are bright, when March is finally around, they just can't seem to do anything good about it.
Mhm.
Obviously, head coach losing his job at the end of the year, uh, so they're gonna have some resetting to do, obviously, but, uh, it is I think it's time for UNC for that. Time for a good cleanse, if you ask me.
Yeah, yeah, Hubert Davis is not that guy. Um, Good to just move on and reset and everything.
Yeah,
Um,
good for them.
but yeah, we'll see. I mean, Caleb Wilson, I believe Caleb Wilson did not play in that game. I think he had some type of an
He
injury.
didn't.
There was some like one of their big three of him, Seth Trimble and Henry Visar was out, I believe, if not a couple of them. So it
Yeah,
does make it a little more understandable, but you're still a blue blood. You're still North Carolina, 6 seed, should be beating an 11 seed in the first round of the tournament. A lack
like
of
what?
focus at that
Like
point. Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Go wait. Alright, bye-bye, UNC. Bye-bye.
And then that'll bring us back up to a winner, which is some teams who did take care of business. That was the 1 through 4 seeds in this year's tournament, zero of which lost in the round of 64, which was pretty crazy and relatively unheard of. Usually you get at least one team kind of jumping
Bounce,
into
right,
there,
yeah.
right? And we've had, as recently as a few years ago, we had two 16 seeds or we've had 16 seeds beating 1 seeds, right? Or
Yeah,
15 seeds beating 2 seeds, etc. But all of the 1 through 4 seeds did actually win their first round matchup this year. And even on top of that, we talked about High Point earlier. Wisconsin was the only 5 seed to lose as well. So even then, like 3 of the
mm,
5 seeds all won their matchups too. So surprisingly chalk in the round of 64 for those top seeds.
yeah,
But good for them. Even if some teams did try to choke it away, still kicking myself. I remember you and I were watching that Duke Siena game in
yeah,
the lodge in Montana,
yeah.
and Siena
Dude,
almost should have won that game, right? And that was
they
crazy.
led by 11 at the half. They led by 11
Yeah.
at the half.
Just
I
doing all
think
the right things, but yeah.
this winner arguably is like a little like junior jumbo stat for the pod. Um, Arguably, and so yeah, I mean that's pretty cool. It was a little boring. I'm not gonna lie, seeing no big names fall in the first round, but uh, I mean, what were we saying? We're saying the script was being played out well, like, and everyone is like a pretty boring script this year, but yeah, man, pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Speaking of that, Nick, really quickly, you just referred to a juniors jumbo stat. I think that's something good that we can kind of keep rolling these upcoming episodes. Folks, obviously we've been straying away from that a little bit just as the content's been a little weird with the off season, but I think definitely during the season, I think in some of our upcoming
oh,
episodes, I
yeah.
think we'll be bringing that back. We'll get our Boomers Bowl takes and our juniors jumbo stats. That'll be some
Hey,
exciting fire for y'all to look forward to.
I'm cranking up the heat this year. I'm going bolder just because I feel like I just because I've got more. I've got I've got a voice. I've got thoughts. Why not?
That's something else too. We got to look back because I remember you nailed so many of those
Yeah, I
last year
know.
too. So I
I
think that's
know.
something when we're going back and reviewing the Boomer Junior Blitz, I think we'll pull that up too and see what your accuracy was.
I
So
mean,
that's some good stuff.
it's not gonna be great, but it's not gonna be bad, in my opinion. But yeah.
Hmm.
All right,
For
man.
sure.
All right.
All
Sorry.
right.
Who we got?
Yeah. No. Next loser, Iowa State Cyclones. This was honestly like truly sad. Some of these other ones, it's
Yeah.
like, oh, North Carolina, what are you doing? Florida, what are you doing? This one was actually really sad to see, though.
It's tough.
They entered the tournament as a 2 seed, serious national title contender. They got your stars, Joshua Jefferson, Milan Momcilovic, right? Things are looking really good in Ames. And then unfortunately, Joshua Jefferson, their All-American forward, gets hurt in the first round of the tournament. They do
Yeah.
make it to the Sweet 16 still. They limp to that point. But this was a team that was really primed to make some magic happen, maybe get to a Final Four, maybe beyond that even possibly. And it's devastating to see an injury in the tournament, like during the tournament, kind of take away that dream.
Yeah. I think you mentioned. I think one thing that was clear about this team was that they were exhausted. They
Mhm.
were exhausted. They were beat down, and it was pretty apparent too. I think special mention too. Milan Momcilovic is now a Kentucky Wildcat as of this offseason, which I remember that news breaking, and I was just like, "Oh shoot!" It sucks because you want these guys to stay at their teams, especially teams like Iowa State. But you got these NIL deals now that are so much more attractive and lucrative coming out of the big, blue blood teams that you mentioned, and I'm not surprised that he moved. Not surprised. I am gonna be not surprised if Kentucky crash out again, but oh well. Uh, yeah, man, Iowa State. I mean, came into the one game that I remember from them playing this year was when they came into West Lafayette. They were the first team that beat us, and that strung a thing of losses for us. And so, uh, yeah, I mean, but they came into a very, very dominant Purdue team at that point in the season, number one, I think, ranked, and completely dog walked us. Like it was sad to watch, but I mean, it was cool to watch this team play. Like they played with such good rhythm and flow, and uh, but yeah, I mean, it sucked to see them bow out. I really thought they're gonna at least make the final, like Elite Eight, if anything. But yeah, um, yeah, our last
All
loser,
right.
folks. Our last loser. Actually, we don't have another winner, but our last like honorable loser, and this is the one that I put in. On paper, they didn't lose this year. On paper, they made it to the Elite Eight. But given how the standard is always a natty or bust for these guys, in my mind, anything less than that, they're a sore, fat, ugly loser. And that's Duke, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Duke Blue Devils, all right? All I'm gonna say is ha ha ha. Like that's all. Like that's all I need to say. Shout out Cam Boozer, but like Duke, you suck. Bye.
I do have something I want to elaborate on here really quickly, and that's to state LOL, OL, 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 OL,
Oh well. Oh
LOL.
well. LOL. No.
Duke actually returning a decent amount of their roster. They
Mhm.
lost obviously Cam Boozer. I think Isaiah Evans also went to the draft, but keeping a decent amount of the roster
Hey,
around, so
they got the
they might
backup
actually be
Boozer
solid
though.
next year. But yeah.
They got the backup Boozer.
They
They
got
still got
backup
Caden.
boo. There we go. That's it. Backup Boozer. That's it right there.
I
That's his
hate
new
it.
nickname. That's
I
locked in.
hate it. I feel bad for the kid. I feel so bad, especially. I mean, his muffed pass in the Elite Eight was why they lost, and like, it was against Illinois too,
Yeah.
right? Was that
Best
Illinois?
moment of the entire tournament. Yeah, that was pretty crazy.
Was that
No, it was
Illinois?
against UConn because it was Braylon
UConn,
Mullins who hit the
yeah,
shot.
yeah.
Yeah.
All
Fun
right,
fact about
man.
the Boozer twins, they were genetically engineered to be able to provide like skin transplants or
Oh
whatever to
yeah,
their older brother who had a skin disorder.
I
Yeah,
did know about.
true
I did
story.
hear about that. That was interesting.
True story.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
Move us on. Or I can move us on to the next section. Obviously went through some highs, some winners, and some losers, but as in typical March Madness, we had some Cinderella stories. Not as many as we normally do, but we still had a couple. I'll kick us off. High Point talked about these guys. Uh, Entered the bracket on a huge winning streak, right? And the number two, and also just upsetting Arkansas in one of the most like thrilling games of this tournament. And it truly, this team came out of nowhere, played good ball, obviously bowed out, but I mean, yeah, I love to see these guys every single year, right? Love to see teams like High Point, the way they play. Uh, don't really see them coming back, but always good to watch a Cinderella story.
And then, yeah, team we mentioned earlier as well, VCU knocking off North Carolina, another, or that's 11 seed, 6 seed right there. VCU, a team that's made some noise in the tournament in the past over a blue blood, even a blue blood under maybe not the right coach, not at full strength.
Yeah,
Still very impressive though, gritty win, which is
yeah,
really exciting to see. So, yeah, it seems like we're maybe not going to be getting as many of these like really low seed, like 14 to 16 seed
yeah,
range upsets in the future. But I'm hoping that we see at least a decent amount of 11, 12 upsets or whatever, at least in the
yeah.
future of the tournament. Keep it somewhat interesting and exciting.
Yeah, man. I mean, yeah, this year was a low year for Cinderella stories, which did make it a little boring to watch. Was very like bit clear cut, like the higher seeds going further and further. But uh, who knows? There's always next year, man. There's always next year. And as of today, wait, I want to pull up how many days till football season. I need to know this for my mental sake.
I'm pretty sure it's 50.
Not NFL, the real
Maybe
football.
it's 49. No, not 49.
We have 51 days, 16
51.
hours.
That's it. All right.
16 hours, 2 minutes and 45 seconds. You're right. Games start week 0, August 29th.
Dang.
It's TCU. It's the Ireland Classic, man. TCU
Mhm.
versus UNC. Yeah, no, very excited for that one. I'm personally excited for Notre Dame playing Wisconsin in Lambeau. They just released a Shamrock Series
Rambo.
jerseys. Yeah, yes. Um, I want everyone, including you, that when you get a chance, go look at the hype video they just dropped. It was like a jersey and hype video drop for the
Mhm.
game. Marcus Freeman, you cold man. Oh my god. He voiced over the video. Oh, dude. Like, also, Jersey
That goes
is
hard.
cold. Just saying. Jersey
Mhm.
is cold. Uh,
I saw that just came
insane.
out today or something, right?
Today. Literally today.
Yeah. Wow.
Cold Jersey, dude. No, it was insane. But yeah, 51 days to football season, folks. Very excited. Some new updates coming to the pod, different locations. Stay tuned for that. Uh, Different locations, different things. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah. And yeah, like we kind of alluded to a bit, this is kind of our final look back at the previous season of athletics. Starting next week, we're going to begin our kind of preview section of the summer series. We're going to do a general group of five overview, I believe, and then we'll go after
I'm
that
so excited.
conference by conference, week by week. And then we'll do our
Oh,
preview leading into week 0, which is pretty exciting.
the real question is, where do we group the independents? Where do we group the independents? We can Do we make a whole week out of them? That's something you and I figure
Oh,
out.
that's a good question. I think
That's something you and I
I'm
figure
not
out.
sure. We'll figure that out because we could always do like Notre Dame with the ACC, for example, because they
Or
like
the
might
Big
as well
Ten.
be.
I
You
guess
know what I
the
mean?
ACC. Yeah,
They, 'cause, I
yeah,
mean, they play ACC opponents the most. Yeah, we'll
yeah,
figure that part out.
yeah. All
Yeah.
right.
Most important part though is we're going to cover each league, which will be very exciting. So stay tuned for that. We're super excited to gear up, get another year
Boomer,
going. Actual like sports and contests.
dude.
Boomer Junior year 2,
Year
baby.
two, baby. Year two. Let's go. Can't believe we've been doing this
Yeah,
for a full year, man. That's crazy.
yeah.
I
And I
remember when Zach
guess
texted me about this. I just remember thinking it was just like a complete like and joke of an idea. I thought he was playing, but no, here we are. Year two.
we are ripping it, baby. That'd be Boomer
Yeah.
and Junior 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Boogaloo. Oh,
And on
oh,
that terrible, terrible joke, we
that was
will
good.
conclude
That was
this week.
good.
So thank you as always, everyone, for tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, rate, review, follow everything on YouTube and Spotify. Drop a like, drop a comment. You know the deal. If you have any questions, comments, or feedback, make sure to email us at officialboomerjr@gmail.com. And as always, follow us on our social media. We got Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Facebook. TikTok over 50,000 likes as of recent, which is pretty exciting. Another new milestone there. So we're ramping it up. We're doing the thing. Um, keep following along with us. We're excited to bring a second season of the show to y'all.
Happy Happy 4th of July, everybody. We'll see you guys next time.
Before, bye.
Bye, everybody.